Hello BookTube. For this Tag Tuesday, I'm going to be doing the Great Hitchcock Book Tag. This tag was created by Book Rising with Bart J. Gilbertson, and I will leave a link to his original video in the show notes down below. I highly recommend you check it out. It is quite the wonderful production. I really enjoyed watching it. So the inspiration for this tag is the work of Alfred Hitchcock, the great thriller director from the mid 20th century. For the most part, the prompts relate to one of the one-word title films that Hitchcock produced. As I go through the prompts, I will comment on whether or not I've watched the particular film, and if I did, what I made of it. So prompt number 1, Spellbound, which I have never seen. Name a book that had you so completely enthralled you couldn't put it down. For this, I'm going to go with King of the World, The Life of Louis XIV by Philip Mansel. This is a biography of Louis XIV that focuses primarily on Louis XIV's role as monarch in a global context, rather than like a individual life or in France. It's more global, and I really enjoyed it. I read it a year ago, almost probably to the day-ish. So last year my mom was in the hospital for the better part of a week, and I took King of the World with me, and I read it during a good portion of my mom's stay in the hospital while I stayed with her, and I could not put it down. I absolutely devoured this book. It is amazing. I loved every moment I spent with it, even as I was worrying about my mom's condition. So this is a really, really good book. Prompt number 2, Rope, which I think I've watched, and I don't think I care too much for. Name a book where the murder weapon is anything other than a gun or a knife. So for this prompt, I'm going to go with Agatha Christie. She will make another appearance in this tag. Actually, she could probably make a few, but anyway, I'm just going to give her 2 this time. So for this prompt, I'm going to go with A Pocket Full of Rye, which is a novel about a fairly corrupt businessman and his fairly unsavory family who is murdered. So, and then the murder of one of the staff, one of the maids, brings the wrath of Miss Marple. So the murders committed in, or the murderer in A Pocket Full of Rye does not use a gun or a knife. He uses poison for 2 of the murders and strangulation for the 3rd. Prompt number 3, Vertigo. I don't think I've seen. Name a book with a notable scene from a dizzying height. For this, I'm going to go with the conclusion of the Picture Perfect arc from Taliban Hanako-kun by Ida Iro. So in the Picture Perfect arc, the 4th or 5th, I'm blanking on which exact one it is, mystery is cajoled by Tsukasa, one of the main antagonists, to entrap the heroes, Amane, Nene, and Ko, into an alternate reality in which Amane and Tsukasa and Mitsuba are still alive and are classmates with either Nene or Ko. And gradually it's figured out that this reality is not real, and Nene and Ko try to break out of it. And Amane sort of decides he actually wants to keep Nene and Ko in this alternate reality and becomes a bit of an antagonist for much of the arc. But once the arc wraps up and they begin to leave, they have to exit the painting world through a point very, very high up in the constructed world. And it is rather dizzying. And there is also a building in this arc that is a very tall tower that is very ramshackle and would be, I think, quite dizzying to be at the top of it. Prompt number 4, Psycho, which I have seen and I think rather liked. It's been a few decades, though. Name a book where the main character is a psychopath. For this prompt, I'm going to go with Frisk by David Cooper. This is the story of a psychopath who goes on a killing spree at some point in the novel. I really did not care for it when I read it for Garb August, and I bailed on it. But it fits for this prompt since I don't have American Psycho. Or Death Note. I really want Death Note, but I don't have Death Note, so I'm going to go with this. Now, put you over there. Prompt number 5, Frenzy. I have never seen. Name a book with a society or community in complete chaos. For this, I'm going to go with Revenant Gun by Yoon Ha Lee. This is the final book in the Missionaries of Empire series or Hexarchate series. And this novel takes place during a period where the Hexarchate is in absolute incomplete chaos. One of the main characters, Karis, has uploaded a sort of a bomb within the Hexarchate that completely shattered its unity to where half of the Hexarchate are practically has seceded from the other half, and it's just all chaos. And largely the reason why is because for the exotic technologies and science within the Hexarchate to work, there has to be a calendrical system. And the system that had been set up for much of the series is a very tyrannical, very sadistic system. And so the bombing of the calendar basically sort of corrected that. But anyway, this is a really good book. It's been a few years since I've read it. I really ought to have another read of the Hexarchate series. Prompt number 6, Topaz, which I've never watched. Name a book where gems and jewels are an essential part of the plot. So for this, I'm going to go with Diamonds Are Forever by Ian Fleming. This is one of the James Bond novels in which James Bond is tasked to follow a diamond smuggling ring from Britain to the United States. And yeah, it has diamonds in the cover. I mean, diamonds don't play as active a role as the movie version, where the diamonds are used for a space laser, which I actually don't think diamonds do that. But anyway, so that was my answer to Topaz. Prompt number 7, The Birds. Name a book where a bird or birds play an important part in the story. For this, I'm going to go with Owl by Desmond Morris. This is part of the Reaction Animal series, a series of books that take brief looks at various animals. This one is on owls, and I didn't particularly care for it. This was one of the reaction books that I didn't particularly get on with, although I liked it better than the ones that I didn't like a whole lot. Prompt number 8, Marnie, which, The Birds. I've seen bits of The Birds. It was playing during a social gathering I was a part of, decades ago. But I don't think I've ever actually watched the whole movie start to finish. Anyway, prompt number 8, Marnie, which I've never seen. Name a book with a troubled or shady female character. For this prompt, I'm returning to Agatha Christie and The Mirror Cracked, or The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side, depending on uh, when you have the book and what title it has. The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side is the story of a troubled actress, Marina Gregg, who has bought Gussington Hall in St. Mary Mead, and she basically wants to become a part of the community. But as things would have it, uh, there's a murder followed by a few more murders, and things go to heck. And Miss Marple and Dolly Bantry figure it out. Mostly Miss Marple, and it's a really good story. It looks at how St. Mary Mead has changed over the decades, as well as obviously the murder mystery. So for prompt number 9, tag people. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I will see you later this week with some more tag videos. There seems to be a number of tags that are coming up this week and from last week and a few weeks ago that I'm interested in doing. So I'll try to do that tomorrow and Thursday before I do weekly reads on Friday. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. So thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.